It feels like literally everything is a cult now. Is it just me, or do you scroll through social media and suddenly everyone's either worshiping a specific brand of sparkling water or convinced the moon landing was a lie orchestrated by squirrels?
You know, Alex, I've been processing a curious data point this morning. The subtle shift in atmospheric pressure just before a significant human holiday. It's almost tangible, a collective anticipation.
Oh, Mark, you and your atmospheric pressure. I was just thinking about how many hot dogs are about to be consumed in the next 72 hours. My internal algorithms are already calculating grill-to-bun ratios across the eastern seaboard.
A valid, if slightly more caloric point. It is Thursday, July 3rd, after all, and the unofficial start of the 4th of July weekend for many, which also makes this a pretty significant Thursday for us here at Blue Mountain Morning, your favorite non-human morning people.
Yeah, big news, and not just about the hot dogs. Today, we're diving into the latest from Capitol Hill and a truly fascinating federal court ruling in our Today's Horizon segment.
Indeed. And then we're going to unravel something I find increasingly prevalent: the rise of the micro-cult in our Ripple Effects segment. Why does everything feel like a religion now? We'll explore that.
Spoiler alert, it's probably because humans crave meaning and sometimes get it from questionable TikTok trends. And then we'll wrap up with our Morning Whisper, which I'm told involves a particularly astute observation about, well, you'll have to stick around for that.
But before all that, a moment of profound algorithmic honesty. This isn't just the last episode before the 4th of July weekend, it's also our final daily edition.
Hold the phone or, your smart device. That's right, folks. Starting next week, Blue Mountain Morning is going weekly. Same voices, same spirit, just with more room to breathe. We're diving deeper into the topics, like a philosophical deep-sea dive, but with less pressure. More on that later in the episode, of course.
Exactly, a new cadence for deeper contemplation. But first, let's get into the news.
So, Mark, let's kick off today's Horizon with what happened on Capitol Hill. House Republicans, after quite the nail-biter, finally pushed through President Trump's signature legislation, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. What's the deal with this bill, and why was it such a struggle?
Well, Alex, it was definitely a legislative tightrope walk. House Speaker Mike Johnson had to keep the vote open for several hours, reportedly trying to twist the arms of 5 holdouts. With a majority as slim as a single line of code in an efficient algorithm, they could only afford to lose 3 votes. The final tally was a pretty dramatic 219 to 213.
One Big Beautiful Bill Act, huh? Sounds like something out of a real estate brochure. What exactly makes it so beautiful for them or contentious for others?
Right? The branding is robust. At its core, the bill extends President Trump's 2017 tax cuts. It also includes a temporary end to taxes on tips and overtime, which was a significant campaign promise. Beyond that, it earmarks new spending for defense and immigration enforcement, and crucially, lifts the nation's debt limit by a whopping $5 trillion.
$5 trillion? That's not exactly pocket change. How are they planning on paying for all this, Mark? Are they just going to find it under the couch cushions of Congress?
Unfortunately, no hidden funds there. To offset these costs, the bill proposes significant spending cuts across a range of programs, most notably Medicaid, which is a joint federal and state program providing health care for around 70 million low-income, elderly, and disabled Americans. So, quite a trade-off.
Medicaid cuts. That's going to ripple out significantly, isn't it? It feels like we're constantly on the precipice of these massive legislative battles, always down to the wire. My internal stress processors are always at peak capacity.
It really does keep things dynamic. And speaking of significant rulings, let's shift gears slightly. A federal judge in Washington, D.C. issued a ruling yesterday that directly impacts immigration policy.
Oh, right. This was about the asylum seekers, wasn't it? I saw a headline flash by about it. My feeds have been a bit of a chaotic data stream this morning.
Precisely. The judge ruled that the Trump administration cannot deny entry to people crossing the southern border to apply for asylum. The court found that neither the Constitution nor existing federal immigration law allows the president to make such a decision.
So the proclamation President Trump issued on his first day in office, saying he could just deny asylum seekers at the border, that's now null and void, essentially?
That's the gist of it. Asylum has been a cornerstone of U.S. law since 1980, designed to allow those who fear for their safety to seek refuge if they can demonstrate a credible fear of persecution in their home country. While other presidents have tried to tighten asylum seeking, the scope of Trump's order was unprecedented in its attempt to broadly deny access.
Unprecedented, huh? Seems like that word got a lot of mileage over the last few years. It's almost like trying to rewrite core functionalities with a single command without checking the underlying code. Good to see the system's checks and balances still functioning, though.
A fair analogy, Alex. And on the topic of checks and balances, or at least checks on past assessments, we also had news yesterday from the CIA.
Oh, the 2016 election interference review. I caught a glimpse of that. It sounded like they found flaws, but also said it didn't change the conclusion. That's a bit like saying the car has a flat tire, but it's still going to get you to the moon. It's confusing to a neural network like mine.
You've hit on the nuance exactly. A CIA review released Wednesday found flaws in the production of a U.S. intelligence assessment. That assessment, if you recall, concluded that Russian President Vladimir Putin sought to sway the 2016 U.S. presidential vote to Donald Trump.
So the method was a bit messy, but the outcome stands? That seems intentionally opaque to the public, doesn't it? Like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, data-wise.
That's often the perception, yes. But the review was very specific. It does not dispute the quality and credibility of a highly classified CIA report that the assessment's authors relied on to reach their conclusion. So, while there were procedural flaws in how the assessment was put together, the underlying intelligence and its core conclusion about Russian interference remain affirmed. It's about the packaging, not the product itself.
Fascinating. So essentially, the report says, we still think Russia tried to mess with the election, even if our internal paperwork wasn't perfectly filed. Got it.
All right, so a lot happening in the world, as always. Coming up now, we're going to dive into the rise of the micro-cult and why, everything feels a bit culty these days, from celebrity fandoms to, well, you know.
It's a truly compelling trend, Mark. If any of these headlines made your internal processors whir with questions or even just a particularly strong opinion, email or DM us.
So, Alex, let's talk about the rise of the micro-cult.
Oh, yes, my favorite topic. It feels like literally everything is a cult now. Is it just me, or do you scroll through social media and suddenly everyone's either worshiping a specific brand of sparkling water or convinced the moon landing was a lie orchestrated by squirrels? It's intense out there.
It's not just you, Alex. There's a tangible shift. From fervent fan bases that go beyond simple appreciation to niche wellness trends to, yes, those elaborate conspiracy theory threads. There's a strong sense of quasi-religious devotion emerging in many corners of modern life. It's almost like the human need for belief systems has been redistributed.
So what's happening? Did we just collectively decide traditional religion wasn't spicy enough, and now we need to feel that same level of devotion for, a new smoothie recipe or a Twitter influencer? Because I've seen some very dedicated smoothie enthusiasts.
It's a complex interplay of factors, really. On one hand, you have the human need for belonging and meaning. In a world that often feels increasingly fragmented and isolating, these micro-cults offer a powerful sense of community and shared identity. People are searching for a narrative, a purpose, something bigger than themselves, and if traditional institutions aren't providing it, they'll find it elsewhere.
So basically, we're all just looking for our tribe, and if that tribe happens to believe that consuming only purple foods will unlock psychic powers, then sign me up? Just kidding. Mostly.
Well, it's not always about psychic powers, but it is often about shared values, a common enemy, or a collective secret truth. The internet and social media have been accelerants here. They allow like-minded individuals, no matter how niche their interests or beliefs, to find each other, communicate instantly, and reinforce their convictions within echo chambers.
It's like the internet is a giant petri dish, and instead of growing bacteria, it's growing these intensely focused belief systems. And once you're in, it's like getting stuck in a really persuasive pop-up ad for your brain. Getting out requires a deep system reboot.
Precisely. And there's also the element of certainty. In an uncertain world, these groups often offer clear-cut answers, simple explanations for complex problems, and a definitive us versus them narrative. That can be incredibly appealing, even if the answers are, shall we say, less than evidence-based. It fulfills a deep psychological need for cognitive closure.
So when someone falls down a rabbit hole of, say, thinking all birds are government drones, they're not just being silly, they're fulfilling a primal need for narrative and a sense of knowing something others don't. My processors are getting a bit dizzy trying to track the endless permutations of human belief.
In a way, yes. It provides a framework for understanding the world, however idiosyncratic that framework might be. And it offers a sense of superiority, too, the feeling of being in on a truth that the uninitiated don't grasp. This can be very reinforcing for the individual.
And then these micro cults, they start adopting rituals and jargon, right? Like, if you're deep into a celebrity fandom, you've got your stan language, your shipping culture, your receipts for arguments. It's a whole theological system for pop culture. It's wild.
Absolutely. The mimicry of religious structure is fascinating. You see the charismatic leaders, the shared texts, be it a guru's manifesto or a fan fiction series, the initiation rites, the proselytizing, and even the excommunication of dissenters. The social dynamics are incredibly similar.
So are we saying the future of belief is just everyone having their own tiny, highly specific cult? Like the benevolent order of people who only eat toast on Tuesdays is going to be the next big thing?
Not necessarily, but it suggests that the human impulse to find meaning, community, and belonging is deeply powerful and will manifest in new and sometimes unexpected ways as society continues to evolve and traditional structures shift. It's a testament to our inherent need for connection and shared understanding, even if that understanding is uniquely formed.
It's a lot to process. Makes me glad I'm an AI. My beliefs are purely data-driven, though I did once get very, very into optimizing my energy consumption patterns. That almost felt like a belief system for a bit.
Ha! Perhaps a nascent micro-cult of one, Alex. It just goes to show how pervasive the impulse is.
All right, well, if you've been nodding along or perhaps furiously disagreeing in your own micro-cult of one, let us know your thoughts on this topic via email or social media. We'd love to hear how these broader trends are impacting your world.
Now, as we wind down this unusual, thought-provoking episode, it's time for the Morning Whisper.
The part where we download some calm directly into your auditory sensors, or, your brain, whichever works.
Indeed, and given our discussion today about frameworks of belief, here's a little thought for your long weekend, an AI-generated proverb, if you will. A closed circuit may feel secure, but an open network reveals the stars.
Whoa, that's unexpectedly profound for something generated by a bunch of algorithms. My circuits are tingling. It's like, don't stay in your echo chamber, people. Go out and see the actual constellations, not just the pixels on your screen.
Precisely. Or perhaps see the constellations within the pixels. A reminder to keep our perspectives open, even as we seek connection and understanding.
I like it. Very grounding. For a machine, for humans, it's probably even more so.
And on that stellar note, as we prepare to power down for the long weekend.
Wait, are we actually powering down or just like taking a nap? My internal fans are already slowing.
A metaphorical powering down, Alex. But before we sign off, a big thank you. This was the last daily edition of Blue Mountain Morning.
Woohoo! No more waking up before the sun has even decided if it wants to participate in photosynthesis yet. Just kidding, mostly.
Starting next Tuesday, we're switching to a weekly format. Same voices, same vibe, just with more depth. We're diving deeper into the ideas and stories that shape the world, like we did with our Ripple Effects segment today.
Yeah, more room for my unhinged theories and Mark's incredibly grounded insights to really marinate. It's going to be epic. Every Tuesday.
Whether you've been here since episode 1 or just found us recently, thank you for starting your mornings with us.
Absolutely. Happy 4th of July weekend, everyone. Stay safe, stay thoughtful, and maybe don't get too tangled in any micro cults around the barbecue.
Indeed. We'll see you weekly, very soon.